Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Porous Borders. I'm Andrew and I'm currently in Singapore where I've come to check out the Play Freely Festival, which is a 2-day festival of improvised music. The first performance was last night and it was really great to see a bunch of my favorite musicians like KG Haino, who played a really great electric guitar set, and a noise musician from Taipei called Dino, who I saw for the first time there earlier this year. He does a lot of really interesting no-input mixing stuff. And of course, there was Wukir Suryadi, who was playing some kind of new instrument he's built that I hadn't seen him playing before. You'll hear a little bit more about Wukir on the show today. And it was really, really great to see a lot of really wonderful improvisers from Singapore for the first time. I'm really just starting to learn about the experimental music scene in Singapore, and there's a lot of really interesting music being made here. So I'll definitely have some content about Singapore coming in the future, so you can watch this space for that. Today on the show is an interview with Ruli Shabara. Ruli's a vocalist from Jakarta in Indonesia, and you probably, if you know him already, know him from his project Senyawa, which is a duo between him and Wukir Suryadi. Besides Senyawa, Ruli has a number of active other projects. He's in the band Zoo, which is a kind of noise rock band, and they've been making music for a really long time now. And more recently, he's been touring with a project called Setabuhan, which is made up of him and 2 drummers. And there's also the Raung Jagat and Gaung Jagat projects, which work with a system he devised for conducting a sort of improvised music. And right now he's on a solo tour in Europe. So if you're in Sweden or Denmark or Germany, I think there's still a few dates to go before that tour wraps up. When he's at home, Ruli also organizes an improvised music platform called Combo, and we talk about that a little bit in the interview. And there are a whole lot of other projects I haven't touched on, so you can check out his website or his Instagram for more information about that. But suffice it to say, he's a pretty busy guy. I've interviewed Ruli a couple of times before, and there's still a lot I want to ask him about even after having done this one, so hopefully I can talk him into coming on the show again in the future. This interview was recorded in his spare bedroom at his house towards the beginning of November, when he was at home for a couple of days between tours. He just got back from London when we met, and just about half an hour or so after we wrapped up this conversation, he had to leave again. So I really appreciate him squeezing this in the middle of what must be a very tiring schedule for him. So this is my conversation with Ruli Shabara.
cepat, begitu kuat.
All right.
Oh, whoa.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe not. Just yeah.
Yeah. It goes back. It's all right.
Maybe put like there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
cool.
Safe.
Cool. Well, thanks for doing this.
No problems.
I don't think I've seen you for like a year. Well, I saw you the other day at Combo,
Yeah.
but besides that, you've been on the road a lot, right?
Well, quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm asking people a bit about their kind of musical origins as well as what they're doing now. So I thought maybe we could start by just asking you about you grew up in Sulawesi and what that was like, what kind of a place that was like growing up. So you mostly were in Palu, right? But not only in Palu.
Well, to be honest, I was born there, but I grew up in many different places, not just in one city.
Yeah.
Few different cities in Sulawesi, and then I also spent a couple of years in Jakarta. So I graduated from my elementary school in Jakarta, and then I went back to Palu for junior high school, and then came back here to Jogja in 1995,
Right.
until now.
And you came here to do school as well,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a long time here.
Yeah, so I'm
Jogja's
more
home now.
Yeah, I'm more a Jogja guy instead of a Palu guy. It's just the connection is different. I have connection to both places. I can call both places home, but I don't know. I feel like Jogja has influenced me a lot more. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you? I know like some of your family did music and stuff when you were growing up in Sulawesi, right?
Yeah, some of my most of the males like not only some of my female cousins also great singers. A lot of they love. I learned Queen from my uncles. I learned Iron Maiden from my uncle, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my brother also plays guitar, but none of them came close to the kind of music that I'm doing.
Yeah. So did your interest start more when you came here and got involved in scene here and that kind of thing, or?
Yeah, but I didn't expect. I didn't even plan to become a full-time musician. Yes, I started like with Zoo was 2005, right? So that was basically it. Before that, I did many projects as well, but none of them are cool. Like I did like new metal ones also in the 2000, something like that. So I never thought that I would make music like professionally or this serious, before.
Yeah. So those early bands, was that just kind of like what people were listening to in Jogja at that time?
Yeah, what was trending, what was most young people like to listen to. It's not even underground. It's just college kids play music. That's what people do, right? And then I was not really involved in the scene back then, even. I 666 was already big. I was following them, and a lot of great bands from Jogja, independent bands were already. I was only a fan back then, and I couldn't even make music like them. And I never even wanted to before Zoo, But when I started at Zoo, then I think, I think there's something here, I think I know back then what kind of music that we will make in this band. So yeah.
When did you meet those guys?
Zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bhakti and I went a long, way, even before all this. And then we were just hanging out, friends hanging out. and then Dimas, the percussion player, was the first drummer before we added another one, which is Obed. Yeah, and Obed was Dimas' friend.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So that band you guys were kind of involved in the hardcore scene here a little bit, right?
In the beginning, yeah.
You were playing with
In the beginning,
playing hardcore shows.
but we don't feel belong to any of the
Yeah.
scenes even back then, even more.
Mm.
Back then, like we didn't. There was no US no club. We didn't
Yeah.
know where to play.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to pay to play, which was fine. Which was like kind of great actually. That we can pay to play. So something like that. And then most of the time we play in hardcore gigs. They will put us in the I don't know like a weird hour, like when nobody was there.
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And mainly in the beginning with Zoo, people laugh, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Laugh, but not hysterically. It's just like they find it weird, so that they laugh, like stuff like that.
So that it's kind of more confusing or something.
Yeah, I think so. And
I'm not sure how to take it.
I have to admit, for people who've never exposed to like different kind alternative music, they will feel it's kind of funny, like yeah.
Yeah. So the early stuff you guys did was kind of like inspired a little bit by what was happening in Japan.
Yeah, a lot of influence from Ruins. I listened to a lot of Ruins. Me and Bhakti together, we listened to the same stuff like back then. Ruins, Melt Banana, and what else? Lightning Bolt. Naked City. Yeah, all this kind of, like that kind of hardcore bands.
Yeah. You guys played with Lightning Bolt a little while ago, right?
Yeah, Setabuhan played Lightning Bolt, and
Yeah.
I'm friends with Yoshida Tatsuya and his gang now, so
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I remember first time meeting them, these heroes.
Yeah.
It was really, really special. You want some tea?
Yeah, let's do it. Cool. So, when did you in Zoo kind of start to feel like you guys were meeting people who are on the same frequency with you guys, doing stuff that, people you could play with that kind of had the same...
Normally we would know each other because it's very small scene back then. People is either doing hardcore, punk, metal, or stuff like that, or ska. Ska was also big back then. So we didn't know where we fit. There were other bands that grew up together. Like Cranial Incesort, and then what else? Airport Radio, Armada Racun. They were all Pankasila actually. Also was from the same kind of era.
Yeah. And when did you get involved in doing like Yes No Club and...
Well, to be honest, with Yes No Wave, when Zoo had his first demo, we didn't know where to put it out, right? And then Walk suggested that releasing his new label. I didn't know. I just it's cool, it's for free, it's nice. But then it actually opened up a lot of things because we got quite a bit of exposure from that. And then it's also good for Yes No Wave. Don't get me wrong. Yes No Wave is also, I think, is good that Walk studied Yes No Wave in that period because so many interesting new bands coming out of Jogja and also Jakarta stuff during that era is very, very. The variety is interesting. There's always like it's fresh, but also exhilarating kind of new bands, So and then Yes No Wave, and then it's the right time and then people get exposed to this band, and then they try to find out, and then actually make more following. And then Yes No Club is a place where people can see these bands live, along with other visiting Australian musicians.
Yeah.
Play in the shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always Australian musicians play in Yes No Club. I don't know why.
It's because we're neighbors.
No, because anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and you and Wokir met at Yes No Club. Is that right? Or,
Of course,
or something
yeah.
Walk organized?
Yeah, Yes No Club. I think it's the very early ones, probably second or third one, I guess. Where Wokir had a solo presentation of his Bamboo Wokir. I think first time in Jogja, and then and Wok invited me to come and see this guy and told me to play along with him on the spot.
Yeah.
With Rod Cooper as well on the stage.
Right, okay.
That time.
And did Senyawa start just straight after that, or
4 days after that.
4 days after that?
I mean,
yeah.
4 days after that, we went to the studio.
Yeah,
and
right,
record
right.
live. So
right.
after
okay.
4 days, we have an EP.
Is that the first thing that came, like the first, like the demo kind of thing you guys put out on Yes No Way?
Yes No Wave, under the name Ruli Shabara and Ukir Suryadi.
Yeah.
And the EP is called Senyawa.
Yeah. Right. And what was it about playing with him? I guess that was, why do you think you clicked so well in the beginning?
I didn't know back then, but now I started to realize it's the polar opposite. It's the personality-wise, Wokir and I are very different people. It's like the opposite, Yeah. And then his music, his kind of instruments, for me is like the whole nature, the whole nature. What's missing there is the human body and sound. So in the beginning, I was still playing drums in one of the tracks, and then in concert sometimes I requested for a timpani to play.
Right.
But then after that, I think Wokir's instruments have everything already. Why should I need to add another instrument there? I just need to explore more voice. Yeah. From that realization, I started to not trying to be Wokir's vocalist, but trying to become an instrument that can match the versatility of Wokir's instrument, which is fucking incredible instrument. And the way he plays is like no other. People can have many weird invented instruments. Wokir's not so special in that sense, but the way he merged himself and is playing with his instruments, like the best. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But then the frequencies of Bamboo Wokir, especially with my voice, that's the click when you ask. A lot of frequency that match really well.
Yeah, right.
So I think that explains a lot, right?
Yeah. And were you when you were doing zoo stuff before that? I imagine your vocals were more like you were more of a intense rock band or noise rock kind of thing, I guess. And with Senyawa, it's a lot more dynamic, I guess, right? So did you kind of start to develop a new technique at that point?
Of course, in the early zoo days, was the focus was not on vocal techniques. I was just trying to be a crazy singer. That was all in my mind. Okay, I want to do it. Go crazy, but in my way. But so not really focusing on what kind of techniques I'm using or how well can I do it. So, but that makes this live was really, really good. A lot of energy.
Yeah.
But then with Senyawa, I realized that I think after second album, the first and second album of Senyawa still basically the way I approach my vocal mindset is still like the early zoo, still the same. It's just with different collaborators, I think. But over time, especially with more live with Wokir, I realized that this is the place for me to explore my voice. I have all the space I want. I have all the, it's just instrument and voice, so I can do whatever I want here. So that.
Yeah, and you have a really interesting idea of how you develop your techniques and that kind of thing. Can you talk about that a bit?
By doing a lot of shows. I never really try to think and focus learning or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I want to learn that for a few months.
Yeah.
Until I'm not that kind of person. I'm just just try it out on stage, and doing a lot of improvisations with different people.
Yeah.
There's always sometimes when you improvise with somebody on the spot, you realize you come up with some technique that you never even think of before. But once you've done it, you can do it. So you try to bring that back, and most of the time it came back, and then you can summon it anytime you want.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a little bit about collaborating with different people in an improv context. Because, you've done a lot at this point, but there are a couple of particular people I wanted to ask you about. You played with Tony Buck a little while ago. This year, right?
Not
How
long
was
ago.
that?
That was fun. That was really fun. Like what do you call it? I mean, not that I cannot explain, but it's just with good improvisers. When you play, you learn, you get a lot from them. So it's not only giving, but you also get a lot input. So Tony Buck is one of these people. Like one of my favorite collaborators in improvising, also Kazuhisa Uchihashi. He's one of, I think, master of it.
Yeah.
Like you always when you perform with him, almost never go wrong. The improv is always nice.
Yeah.
Or great. Because he gives a lot, he listens really well. There are some challenges in improvisations with certain people, like Keiji Haino.
Right.
That's really difficult because of the loudness, I guess. A voice and that kind of loudness requires a lot of effort. But when it's good, it's really, really satisfying. Yeah.
Every time I've seen him, I feel like he's such a big personality, even though he's a really small guy. And I feel like most people tend to kind of play in a way that gives him a platform to do whatever he wants to do. What was it like for you playing with him?
I've played with him 3 times, I guess, 3 different occasions. My favorite one was last time in Canada.
That was the show you played with the X, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he is very strict in terms of he doesn't like smoking. He doesn't want to be around smoking people, people smoking, and strict vegetarian, and never takes off his glasses in front of people,
right.
Stuff like that. So
Yeah.
So it's very strict, but he's very, very fun. He treats us like his grandkids or something like that. He can yell at us, but it's in a fun way, and then it's fun. It's like a grandpa.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's how I see him.
Yeah. You guys have played with Arrington a lot when he's been here as well, right? What's it like playing with him?
Arrington is very particular kind of improviser. His technique and his saxophone techniques are very, very him, Yeah, and I kind of know how to play with him now. So he's him or Lucas Abela also very particular. The stuff they do when they're improvising. So for me it's easy, it's nice, and also you're good friends with them. So it's very, very easy. Yeah.
Do you feel like playing with? I guess I wanted to I'm interested in how, like whether you prefer to collaborate with someone a few times and it gets better every time, or you prefer kind of just not knowing at all what's going to happen and just seeing what comes out with someone you've never played with before.
I'll tell you a secret. If you notice the pattern that with Senyawa album, whenever we finish an album, we do a lot of collaborations. Whether it's recorded, put into a collaboration album or whatever, or a project with different people. Like we do that a lot before the next album. When the next album comes out, we will get a lot of new inputs, new knowledge that we apply in our album. So basically, not in a bad way, but we kind of take advantage of these occasions to actually be used in our album. So I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah, we definitely use collaborations and improvisations with different people, as diverse as possible in order to grow.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what Senyawa is all about. It's all about developing and transforming and mutating. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like every record you guys do, there's a really it always sounds like you guys, but it always sounds like a very different version of you guys from the last one. Like the first album was quite song based, and then the second album was also, but very long songs and kind of a lot more repetition and yeah, there's a lot going on in the new record.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a bit about the new record? You recorded with Shoaib in Canberra, right?
Yes. Those songs we planned it. We planned what. Unlike the other albums, this one is planned.
Right.
Let's make distortion based album. Let's make non-bamboo, just electric guitar album, like metal but not fast.
Yeah.
But doom, but it's also singing there. So let's make that, because it fits with the theme that we want. It's the theme that we want to close this the first loop of Senyawa's journey. That's why this album is about sujud. It's about, because the album previously was called Puncak. It's like the peak, and that Puncak album was all 100% improvisations.
Yeah, that was you guys did a residency or something, right? And
not even a residency. We just had 3 days off in Copenhagen. We just gets, inspired a lot.
Yeah, right.
And then let's just jam the whole day and record everything.
Yeah,
everything is not. Even when we tune the guitars, it's all recorded. But then the guy said, I will cut this out, and then I'll send you guys if you like it, and I just release it. Man.
Yeah, I have to say that record is the one I probably listen to the most of you guys. I don't know why, but there's just something really.
Yeah, it's not song based at all.
Yeah.
So after that one, then we decide to make. After the peak, we have to go down, and we have to go really down, which is to the ground. And the act of doing that is prostration, and that symbolizes a lot of things, like what you call it in English? Submission. Yeah, submission. That means you let go of everything. That's why the order of the songs in that album is in order. You have to leave everything behind, all your identity, your names and everything on earth, and then you go, and then in the end you go back again. So it's all about that. So
And what are you guys working on for what's coming up?
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
That's why in January
we
will be doing 10-year anniversary concert in Jakarta, where we will be before we're ready for the new album. We're talk a lot, Wukir and I, about the concept of the next album, which would be with different instrument and with a very different approach on the vocal. Because I thought it would be impossible after the Sujud. Okay, what's next? Probably we go back like the things we did in the previous albums, maybe, because we haven't really, what's new.
Yeah.
How can this be new?
Yeah.
So I think we've got some idea.
Cool. I'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, before I move on to a few other things, can I ask you about the concept behind the first two records as well?
Senyawa.
Yeah.
So the first EP, Senyawa, is called Senyawa, and then it's basically Wukir and I, we just met 4 days before, and then this album is kind of our getting to know each other musically. How he plays, and then I will sing like this. Basically just that, an introduction. And then Acharaki, we try to, let's make this one serious. And then we use, and Walk actually designed the cover.
Right.
Is closed.
Yeah.
And Acharaki is actually a science to mix herb.
Right.
Jamu,
Yeah, right.
So it's the sign of jamu, mixing this and that, natural stuff. And I think that's what we're doing in Senyawa. So that album is actually we're still trying to let's try out,
Yeah.
So
developing the concept.
Developing the
band,
concept,
right?
and then just by using the title of the album, if people know what it is, then they know. This is all about. This is just people trying to make a formula, and then Menjadi, where we from that album we were introduced to a new scene, which is techno scene.
Right.
That album brought us to a lot of big festivals, mainly techno festivals like CTM, Unsound, all these crazy festivals. And that because of Morphine Records, who released the album, and Rabia, the owner of that label, had a vision of Senyawa Senyawa would be liked by these people. He said, it would be fresh air for the techno scene, which was true in some way because it fits perfectly.
Yeah.
And the album is very percussive, minimal voice, not many crazy techniques, just very subtle. But the rhythm is very, very strong.
Yeah. Yeah, there's these very I feel like there's these sort of slow, gradual changes that are developed.
Yeah, and it's called Menjadi.
Yeah.
Yeah, transforming to become.
Becoming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see after Acharaki, and then it's becoming.
Yeah.
And then the peak.
Yeah, right.
So it's not the theme is not very philosophical or anything. It's just showing the progress, which is again what Senyawa is all about. It's all about the development of sound and mindset of the two guys.
So recently you've been doing a new project, Setabuhan. How did that project start, and what's the concept behind it?
Well, with Senyawa already running, I was thinking, it's very spiritual. Senyawa is very inward kind of, reflections and all that stuff, spirituality. And Zoo is more text-based, very narrative, very mind kind of focus, I explore a lot of text, theme, narration, stories, stuff like that. But then I need something more physical. Something like Setabuhan. It's like there's something missing here. So this tree now is the main project because it's got the mind, the feeling, the soul, and the physicality, stamina.
So the band is you and two drummers?
Two drummers and voice and electronics. Voice with electronics. and martial arts. Yeah. So yeah, more like performance art
Right.
than a band.
And the concept kind of came from you were inspired by like rituals that you saw in Sulawesi, right?
The rhythm.
Rhythm.
So the rhythm of the ritual inspired me to what if this kind of rhythm using modern drums and percussion, and the sound should not be like a percussive band, but should sound like a hard techno, but with muscles instead of programmed beats. That's Setabuhan. Yeah. And on top of that, you have martial arts and people fighting, so that when you watch the show, it cannot go wrong almost, because watching that kind of music, loud, non-stop percussion, and then noise, but then people fighting, something like that. Yeah, people fighting, and sometimes we invite audience to fight each other. So kind of a wild fight club. Yeah, of course, it's like even if you're not joining the fight, watching the fight or audience fight, you will have like a sensation, like maybe I can go, maybe I can go. That's enough already. It's a very special experience for people to feel that in a show. That means their adrenaline rushing, and then it makes them feel like alive after the show, of course. So yeah.
A couple of times when I've seen you guys play, you fight people, or you invite people to come and
invite. But sometimes it will be fair if I also join. Actually, just for that reason.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a good fighter. But,
is there something you're trying to create between you and the audience in doing that, or?
Well, I'm trying to show them that it's not about violence. Martial arts is not violence, and then in a lot of traditions, martial arts become a very good, a lot of values that people can learn from there, which is the courage to step up, or to defend yourself, or to have a physical contact, or the courage actually is a very big part there. Imagine if you never fight before and you think fighting is only about violence. It's gonna be very difficult to live in the real world, man. Sometimes you have to make a stand. You have to be willing to, just like a mosh pit. Mosh pit is crazy mosh pit. Sometimes you get elbowed, you get kicked sometimes, but that's fine. You're happy. It's not about violence, right? You getting hurt, that doesn't mean bad. In almost every show, after people fight in the Setabuhan show, people were like genuine smile everywhere. People like euphoric, happy, bring people even closer. Because there's rules there. I don't want people to be beaten up. Someone 1 or 2 punches, they have to change the opponent, because that's not about hurting people. It's about willing to get punched or make your attack. So it's like that, and then all about respect. It's showing respect, because only one on one people are watching, and sportivity is all about respect. If audience respecting the fight respecting the audience and the opponents, I'm not gonna in that kind of fight, I'm not gonna hit the eye, for example, or the throat, or the balls. It's respect. I just wanna let's have some fun. You hit me, I hit you. It's fun. It's nice. So But if the other person not respecting you, it will also show. If it suddenly hits you in the eye, oh man, this is not good, and he will learn his lesson after that.
That's
it's not
true.
Cool.
You're working, when I came in this afternoon, you're working on another new project. Do you want to talk about it before it's ready, or do you want to?
Oh man,
do you want
to be honest, I started to think that people will think of me of like a guy who's done projects all the time, like a bit too much. Maybe it is, but I cannot stop. Like I cannot stop. Otherwise, it's not, because a lot of these projects need to be initiated, need to be cared for, so it's not gonna be a sudden new project. Every project that, the serious ones, it's always been prepared, like sometimes few years before.
Yeah.
Like this one, I started this next project is in 2017, but then it's actually started since 2003.
Right.
Yeah. So you see, it's a long process, and if I don't start a new project, for example, if I have an idea, I have to start doing it, even though it's just a little, because it will slowly grow and then even change. But in the future you will see. There's always new things coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. How you keep so many balls in the air, how you keep so many things going at once. Is it just developing them over a long period of time? And
that's one, and two, now it's kind of too much actually. Now I don't I need to pause some of the projects, and because not enough time. That's not good, if you're becoming the slave of your own ideas, then that's what the point. I have to pause some of this and then try to strategize better, but it is very difficult. It's like having I don't have a kid, but it's like that. When you have a kid, you have to take care of that, right? You cannot have a kid and then you abandon them. So it's adding another responsibility. That's what's making it difficult. You cannot just, for example, Setabuhan could also be nice just for fun, but then okay, people seem to like it, and then what do I do with this? Okay, you have to so you have to also make it serious, stuff like that.
Yeah,
but that means it's also good for. I hope it's inspiring. That being consistent is a good thing. I'm consistently trying to make every project like there's something that I offer in a new project, something new that I'm offering, even though it's not actually a new kind of exploration, but there is something new in that that I'm offering. So that's what I'm trying to do. If it's not really fresh, maybe it's not worth doing it.
So you've been doing the combo project for a couple of years, and that's a big part of your kind of how you're helping the scene in Jogja grow. And
Okay, combo. Combo started in 2013, I guess. Yeah, in 2013 with me and Satya Prapanca, from Kebun Binatang Film. So initially the idea was only to make like some kind of a program for the video in Kebun Binatang Film project, and then we work with Jimmy Mardika from 666. He had a garden which is very nice, and then maybe we can do like a improv sessions here, and then we film it, only that. But then I realized, wait, I think is if we can make this more regular, and then not only focusing on the video, I think it's a very good opportunity, because like in most cities, like a big cities like in Melbourne have a make it up club, all this in Malaysia, Singapore, they all have it, most of this, and then we need to have this kind of improv scene. It's not jazz improv, it's not blues improv, it's just improv, like you can do whatever you want. There's no rule, there's no hierarchy, so that's why they all play individually, even they're a part of a trio or a band, they have to play individually. It's not about hierarchy, it's not about, and the combinations within each set is curated, but they have to have a requirements kind of curation, like it has to be mix of different people from different backgrounds, and then there has to be consist of at least one player who is more experienced, one player who is more it's like a newcomer but with great potential. It just need more collaboration, stuff like that, and then there have to be musicians from I'm calling it like outside of the experimental scene music, like a pop, or traditional. I consider that, or jazz, or classical. So there have to be someone from that kind of background, or just normal rock.
Yeah.
It's also, for me, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
where they, if you're a rock guitarist,
Yeah.
how can you develop if you want to develop more outside of the rock genre, how would you do it? It's very difficult though, right?
Yeah.
With this kind of platform, I think it's good. People can just try it out, man. There's no
Yeah.
pressure. It's like it's in a garden.
Yeah.
And then there's no hierarchy. You'll be playing with the senior here. You're playing with
Yeah.
the more experienced musician sometimes, and also there have to be a guest, like a visitor,
Right.
like So you see
Someone
this-
from outside.
from
just
outside.
join.
So
Yeah.
it's like a learning. There's an exchange happening in multi-layer.
Yeah.
Which is very good, and it's not a show. Originally, in essence, Combo is not a show. It's just a platform. It's not even a community because anybody can run it. Like it's a platform for people to use. Just like the things I do in Raung Jagat. That's also a platform. Anybody can do it, and people have done it by themselves in many places, including Sean Boss Battle also.
Yeah.
Done it many times.
Yeah.
A few times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there when you put together the like you're curating who's playing with who, what the sessions are, is there a lot of
Well, not only me curating it.
Yeah,
Like we call it Dewan Combo. People who normally help out or organize the combo session, we call it Dewan Combo. So they can suggest, they can offer people, and then maybe this one play. But we all kind of know the requirements I mentioned about. It has to have a mix of these elements.
Yeah. And do you tell people who they're going to be playing with before you start, or is it just turn up and
Then see how the space is interacting with them and how they interact with each other. Yeah, like that. Sometimes works, sometimes not, sometimes but that's just the way. That's the spirit of Combo.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Cool. You have started using pedals a lot more in your with your vocals, right? What was the reason for? Because for a long time you just used like a little bit of reverb maybe, but that's it, right?
Yeah, a little bit of reverb even came later. So before it was just dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the two mics. Then now, but you see, that's the progress, right? First just that, and that now, and then maybe more later. But what's after that? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But that's how just the process that I have to do.
Yeah.
And so, because I'm open to everything, I think I'm open, but I have to be able to do it first. I'm just not just open and do whatever thing I like. Yeah, first I have to learn and do it. Learn when I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
When I'm ready only with a little bit, then I'm gonna do it just a little bit.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing with the pedals? It's mainly for Setabuhan, right?
Yeah, for Setabuhan is different, and then I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning from myself. I don't know where to play, maybe for solo set or for maybe. But I'm learning. I'm just still learning the pedals. But as I learning, I try to find my own my own configurations. So it's mainly now for this set. I think I just use different loops, and then the loops will be. But they all use pedals, so it's not a drum machine or something like that. Yeah. So these machines cannot sync each other.
Yeah.
And then unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you doing everything live? You don't have.
I do everything live and some samples
Okay.
that are already some loops that been recorded. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they all of your voice or?
some of
the
my
things.
voice, some are the from that sample I record it and then cuts a little bit and turn it to something else and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna do my first tracks in the radio. I think tomorrow night,
Right. Like a live
like a
radio performance.
like a radio show, but 1 hour of this.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
an improvisation or something, or
Yeah, but record it and then I
Yeah.
send it. And
Oh,
then
cool,
they will
man.
play it. You know, so it's like because I think I'm not really ready. So
Yeah.
what I do is not releasing it, but stream it.
yeah. Okay.
But then, but the reason was to release it actually because my friend Dewi has a works in a foundation like an NGO that helps a lot of like post-disaster recovery kind of stuff, and then including like a water crisis in Bali. She explained to me a lot of these issues, and it's like, okay, maybe I need to record my stuff and then try to put it on a radio show and then ask people to donate you. You know, it's like so it's just that.
Yeah. You and Wokir worked a bit with Life Patch last year when the natural disaster happened in Palu. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that for people who don't know much about what happened and what you guys did in response?
Yeah, I think everybody responded to that, not just us.
Yeah.
I think everybody's responded to just. I'm from there, that's
Yeah.
why. Like I'm from Palu, and then when the tsunami happened, yeah, of course Senyawa had to try to get fund raising program to help a little bit. Yeah, and Life Patch also did the same. We worked a lot with Sudut Pandang. They made these programs there, and it's working.
And have you been back? You've been back a few times.
Yeah, a few
since,
times
right?
after that.
Yeah.
I'm coming back, I think, next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's quite a strong arts community there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They also have this place called Nemu Buku. It's a new. Used to be Nemu Buku. Now it's like a emergency library or something like that. I like that. It's after the disaster, they turned the library into something else, something better.
Oh yeah, I curious like what's going on in Jogja now that is exciting to you or interesting or
Jogja, let me think. Yeah, Jogja news bombing as usual. January, of course, Jogja news bombing is happening again. Yeah, and then what else? Total Perkusi is making great stuff, especially recently with their more proactive approach, and also more involving. That's very exciting. And what else? Electronic scene also is very good. Yenu Ariendra is doing a very great approach to this kind of music, which is, I think, perfect for now. And then, yeah, Raja Kirik is a big potential.
Yeah.
Really big potential there. What else? Yeah, that I know of. I don't really know a lot of new bands right now.
I wanted to ask you about some of the research work you guys are doing about other about traditional musics around Indonesia? You did some.
Well, this is with Volcanic Winds.
Mm.
Yeah. So, Volcanic Winds project is doing like a research project called Gugus Gema. Gugus Gema, where they want Ukir and I kind of make a team to find music in other parts of Indonesia that are doing exploration with traditional music and modern, just kind of like what Ukir and I are doing. Basically that. So it's not traditional music.
Yeah.
So it's not finding traditional music. That's been done many times, by so many people. This is about, trying to find people who are making things like Senyawa is doing. Not necessarily the kind of music that we do, but the kind of spirit of mixing this kind of roots, culture, and in a more contemporary way. Yeah.
Have you found anything interesting?
Of course.
Yeah.
You will see in the website.
Yeah.
Now we're still trying to, finishing a little bit, and it's still going. The second phase is ongoing right now.
So you've done stuff in
Aceh,
Kalimantan,
Kalimantan, and then Bukit Tinggi, Sulawesi.
Cool. I just had a kind of funny question, I guess, but I'm curious, like, after you've played so many shows in so many different places with so many projects, what's like the weirdest gig you've ever played, or weirdest experience you've had performing music?
There's so many of them. Wait. The weirdest. Wait. Let me think.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
In a different level. Yeah. There are some that you cannot even say.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think once with Senyawa, we went in the first tour in Europe. We were doing like a DIY tour, playing everywhere, and with a van. So we're supposed to play in a church in a country. I'm not gonna say where, but we were not allowed to enter the church because they said we didn't know that these guys are Indonesians. What the fuck?
Whoa.
Yeah. And then they not even opening the door for us.
Oh
Our
my
friend
God.
has to talk to them.
What happened? Did the show happen?
No, of course not.
Oh my
because
God.
they say they didn't know that we were Indonesian. So, okay, really? And then we went to a bar, and then there people were drunk, and then and then I said, look, there's a PA and microphone.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let's play here. We bring our instruments.
Yeah.
So we play there. So we were rejected by the church, but we play in hell. Like in the bar, people are drunk and like fuck with nastiest sound system. But it was fun, and we got paid.
Yeah.
We didn't expect that, and then they give us like I don't know some,
What did people?
couple of hundred.
How did people respond to that? Like, was it just?
They were just drunk.
Yeah,
they were just
right.
like happy. Yeah, but yeah, it's fun.
Oh my God, that's.
Yeah, I think that's probably
pretty
the weirdest.
unbelievable.
Yeah. There's a lot too. Yeah. But with Zoo, we played in a festival that is not official, but a big one. You know what I mean? So few hectares they occupy the space to make a festival. It's a Zapatista. There's a lot of people from Zapatista came and do a lot of talk, like exhibition and stuff like that. And then they make a festival. And we built the festival together. We started like putting up everything, making the food, and then and it's all organic. There's no bullshit, And then we played really, really, enjoyable. And then we had a lot of encores. And then I think that's not weird, but it's very memorable, like a very deep, like I think. Concert for me. Yeah. The sound system wasn't great. It's just big enough for that kind of people, and then out in the field.
Is there anything you have coming up that you want to talk about, like tours or upcoming releases or?
Upcoming releases, yeah. Not really. Yeah. Oof, what am I gonna say? I don't know. I have to pause everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna pause a little bit. But there will be something, of course. But I just don't want to talk about it yet.
So if people want to keep up, they can follow you on Instagram. Is that the best place?
Yes, that's the best place.
Yeah.
I think it's easy.
Yeah.
And I hope people are gonna listen to this and then be okay.
Yeah. Cool. I think we covered it. If
Cool.
there's nothing else. Thanks so much for doing this, man.
No worries. Anytime. We're gonna have different projects together in the near future.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Porous Borders. If you're interested in exploring more underground music from the Asia-Pacific region, you can check out my YouTube channel, Concrescence Records. You can find the link to that in the show notes. If you like the podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review in the iTunes store. If you have suggestions or feedback and you want to get in touch, you can email the show at porousborders@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at @ANDRWMH.